Good morning, everybody. We're going to conclude the week of reviews with another Beatles review. It's been a while since we've done a Beatles review. We just did one on Ringo's new song "Thankful," but it's been a while since we've done a proper Beatles review. I think the last time was when I posted or when I uploaded my Let It Be release reaction. This time we're going to take a look at the Beatles' self-titled 1968 album, The Beatles, more commonly known as the White Album. As a matter of fact, this video will just be called The Beatles, and then in the description it will say The White Album, along with CD review. The White Album was released on November 22nd of 1968, which happened to be the 5th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And the vast majority of the songs on the White Album were written when the Beatles went to India to study transcendental meditation with the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And something that I learned on the Beatles anthology is that George Martin, the Beatles producer, wanted the White Album to be a single record, but the Beatles had so much material from their excursion to India that it turned into a double record. And some of my favorite songs on the record are Bungalow Bill, which features a lead vocal or a guest vocal by Yoko Ono, and Obladi Oblada, which every time I hear that song or sing that song, I always think of my favorite TV show from the 80s, Life Goes On, because it was used as the theme song for that show. And I love the acoustic version of Revolution, which is on the record. It's called Revolution 1. Actually, I like the acoustic version or the White Album version of Revolution 1 better than the electric version that was released as a single. And I also love Why Don't We Do It in the Road and Don't Pass Me By and Long, Long, Long is, I think, another song that I like. And of course, Birthday, and Back in the USSR, which Paul actually played drums on, because during the sessions for the White Album, Ringo got disenchanted and left, because I guess during these sessions they were fighting and they were not on the best of terms, and he became disenchanted and thought that he wasn't playing great, and he went on a vacation to Sardinia, and wrote the song Octopus's Garden, which, as we know, would appear on Abbey Road a couple albums later. And when he got back, or when he was getting ready to leave, he knocked on George's door and said, basically, I'm leaving the group. My playing is not very good. And George said, I thought it was, and he said, you, George, you, Paul, and John are getting along. And George looked at him and said, I thought it was you three. And so he knocked on Paul's door and repeated the same thing. And so he knocked on John's door and repeated the same thing. But so he decided to leave. So he decided to go on vacation. And when he got back, he got a call from, the Beatles, the three remaining Beatles, and said, come on back, we love you. And actually, when he returned to the studio, it was all decked out in flowers and everything was okay again. But the only other time besides during Let It Be that the Beatles had a guest musician play with them, not counting Yoko Ono, is during While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Of course, we know Eric Clapton played on that, and George invited him one day because I guess they were hanging out, but Eric was kind of nervous because nobody other than George Martin had played on a Beatles record, and Eric turned out one of the greatest solos in rock and roll history. And so, of course, I like that. And of course, another song that I like is Piggies. And out of, in 1990, when George and Eric Clapton toured Japan, George brought out Piggies as part of the set, and I think that was the first time he had done Piggies before, because it hadn't been done outside of that. And it's a funny song, and so really there's not a bad song on the record. Even Revolution 9 is kind of cool. And a couple of years ago, there was a massive box set of a massive re-release of the White Album, and as part of this re-release, there was some sessions released. I think more than on the anthology series. Anthology 3 is, I think, when the White Album was covered. And so I think there was more sessions released on this box set than on the anthology series CDs. And one more thing that I'd like to say about Obadi Obada is that the what I call the acoustic demo version of Obadi that's on Anthology 3 is probably my favorite. I probably like that one better than the album version. Actually, I think I wish they had released that version instead of the one that's on the record. The same goes for the version of One After 909 on Let It Be. There's a version of 909 on Anthology 1 that's, I think they should have played it like that rather than the way it ended up on Let It Be. And so I hope you enjoy that.